Yeah.
Monday.
I know.
Y'all starting with?
All right, y'all. Welcome to 67 Social. I am Dream Irene.
I'm your girl, Miss Mean.
And I'm Rock.
I'm Money Talk. Shut up and listen.
He said, shut up and listen. Shut up and
Money
listen.
Talk. Money Talk. Shut up and listen.
Dang,
So we
y'all.
got Rock here today, blessing us with his great presence,
Welcome, Mr. Rock.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Glad to be here. I say.
So what's up? What we talking about today?
Ooh, it's November 1st, y'all.
Yeah.
It's the first of the month.
4 days.
Oh
I ain't
my
get paid
God.
today though.
You ain't get paid today?
No.
I ain't get paid on the first. I ain't get paid today.
Dang.
No. You get paid?
I get paid every day.
All right, tell the people how you get paid every day, Rock.
Well,
Let's hear about this payday.
For me, information, knowledge, and wellness, all those are way more important than money. Money is,
There you go.
Yes.
we can always get money, but can we get information? And can we get and stay healthy? That's wellness is, that's
Important.
yeah.
Knowledge is
health is
currency.
wealth.
Yes.
Health as well.
You ask Steve Jobs, he had all the money in the world. The Apple guy, remember?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Health as well. Kobe had $500 million, unfortunately. 39, 40 years old. So.
Absolutely.
But health is wealth.
Knowledge is
Okay.
currency too.
Yes,
Without
it
knowledge
is.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
The more information you get, the more money you're gonna make anyway. So they go hand in hand.
That is
So was
true.
that something that you have always had established, or is that something like experience really taught you over time?
As far as health, from a young person, it started as a vanity project. Her name was Joanne.
Okay.
In 7th grade. I was a little chubby dude, but I really liked Joanne. And she was liking this dude named Malcolm. I thought it was just because, I was a little chubby. So I actually started dieting at 12 years old and realized for a week, my mom let me eat grits and toast for 1 week. And I lost like 7 pounds.
Okay.
And I realized then, though, I could change the way I look just by changing my habits. So an appetite for fitness and health and wellness was born right there. And I was,
That's an early age.
That's at 12.
48 years ago, yeah. So today, I try to still practice some of those.
I think we can see it in the skin.
Yeah.
It's the largest living organism on our body.
Yes, it is.
It'll tell them.
Yes, it is.
It will. It will.
Yes, it will.
If you're not getting your sleep, if you're not drinking water, if you're not living right, your skin will tell them.
Absolutely.
First,
Absolutely.
it'll let you. It'll
It'll glow on you too.
yeah.
Yeah.
You get it right. So let's get into this politics
Come on
thing.
now.
Ooh.
Let's talk.
Yeah.
Bro.
It
Hey
is
man,
November.
history. We're
Hey.
on the cusp of history.
Yes,
Yes.
we are.
Mexico just elected a woman president just south of us. This country is 247 years old. I think we've never had a female president. And I have to be honest, it's sometimes disheartening as a man to think that, my mother it was 10 of us. I'm the 9th of 10 children.
Oh,
And
wow.
my dad worked all the time. I only saw him on the weekends. And so my mother managed everything. She managed the house. She never had a job outside the house, but she was the manager. She ran the house. And my father would go to work and he'd give her his whole entire check. And then he came back and asked for a Starbucks, $10. She was like, you done snap, crackle, and pop. You see all these kids I got to feed? I can't give you no money.
Yeah.
Beat it, kick rocks. And so he started another enterprise as far as, he became like a loan shark. But women, I said all that to say that women have been like these great entrepreneur business. I mean, they've managed households, businesses. But all of a sudden, when it's time to put them in an executive position, we don't want a woman.
Don't want to trust that fact.
But for the first 12 years of our life, that woman was everything to us.
So,
As a man.
So in your opinion, based off of what we were talking about, I want to say last episode, do you believe that a woman in position like that would make other countries look at us like we're weak?
Good question.
That's, when I hear that, I'm like, so what does that 78-year-old orange do? Is he gonna fight somebody?
Right.
I mean, like physically fight? What does weak look like? I mean, we're not talking about a pugilist. We're not talking about getting in the ring and fighting Vladimir Putin or fighting, Xi Jinping from China. Or, it's not it's not about physical.
Right.
It's about this fighting.
Right.
She ran. California has 44 million people. She was the attorney general for that state. 44. He's never held an elected position prior to being the president. He had a fake TV show like what we doing now. He had a podcast.
TV show ain't
We
fake.
ain't
Hold on
fake.
now.
Wait, he ain't fake.
Yeah, we
But
not fake.
listen, he had a TV show where
67
they made him look like this great businessman. They made that up. And people believe that he was some.
Oh, you talking about The Apprentice?
Yeah, The Apprentice.
Okay. Okay.
And the dude he's filed bankruptcy 6 times. When you file bankruptcy, that means that the contractors that you hired, the people, the construction, they don't get paid. You walk away from the job. So all those contractors, those cranes and concrete, they don't get paid. He did that 6 times to people. I can't pay, and walked away 6 times. And we held him as some big, great businessman.
So you're saying that, it's time for women to shine. You
course.
think our like innate nature and kind of spirit will like run this country better than the Orange Man?
I think about, like, I've only seen a few times where women have like been like totally. If you look at all like the fraudulent cases where people like abuse power, the Mike Madigans and all these people, the Verdoliak, and just in our city, most of the time you see this criminal behavior, it's not by women. It's usually being perpetrated by men, because it's an ego, it's a power, it's man. Prior to 1970, women had no power. Black women didn't get the right to vote until 1965, the Voting Rights Act. White women got it in, I think, 1920, I believe it was. Ida B. Wells was a gangster. She marched. Don't get me started, man. But anyway,
A great person.
as men have like purposely kept women out of the game. Black women are the most educated women in the world. Sure. Once Roe v. Wade is about the right to privacy. It's not about abortion. Those people on the right, they'll take a topic and they'll hijack it. It's not about abortion. Roe v. Wade is basically about the right to privacy. So prior to 1970, I mean, a woman couldn't even get a bank account. She couldn't get an apartment. She couldn't buy property without the consent of her husband, her brother, some man.
Right.
But once Roe v. Wade passed 51 years ago, women were able to, they were like, oh, you mean I ain't got to have this baby? I can go. Man, women took off. And so it's women that are, I went to my son's graduation a couple years ago, and the usher, he literally said to me, do yourself a favor, count the many of it. I counted, it was 12 to 1. It was 12 women walking across the stage getting their diplomas. It was 12 to 1. It was 12 women for every one guy. Yeah, women are getting there. Black women, literally, that's a fact, are the most educated with master's degrees, PhDs.
But even with that being, I'm sorry.
No, fine.
But even with that being the case, do you think that we put a black woman, or supposed to be portrayed as a black woman in office right now, that other countries are going to respect that, seeing that what you were just saying, we're kind of last on the totem pole to be getting like these rights and these provisions and things like that. So are we really going to be respected, or do you think that may open us up to be targets?
You know what's going to open us up is to have a compromised person who has filed bankruptcy 6 times, who is a 34-time convicted criminal. Okay. That's what's going to make us look weak. I just got back from Ghana maybe 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
Last year I was in Morocco, Spain, Portugal. When you travel, people say, man, what are y'all doing?
Right.
The world is afraid. The G7, I mean, they are literally Trump-proofing their, I mean, this dude is picture this. This guy, the guy that was his vice president, who used to look at him like a little woman blushing. I mean, this guy right now won't endorse him.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, what should that say about this guy? This guy he worked with you 4 years. Was like your little lap dog. And now he in the witness protection program.
Yeah.
So this is my father for those of you who don't know, right? So we have 2 totally different perspectives on this. And I understand where my dad is coming from. He don't really, it's like, to me, it's like the lesser of 2 evils. You know what I mean? I think she would be. My opinion is this. I think the president of the United States is the captain of the football team. I stand on that.
Okay.
I believe politics is a sport. I believe that men play sports at a higher level, just like business. It's kind of the same way, and it aligns with business. What we fail to realize, and to me, in gender equality, and I'm not talking about, he has very valid points on Trump, but what we fail to realize in gender equality is that men and women are built to do two different things. And at the end of the day, the president of the United States is the leader of the army. He's the leader of the free world. Women are not good at logistics and understanding the science of war. I don't believe that. Directionally, as far as how we can perceive the landscape, topography, if you will, like the General Napoleon. That's what he was great at. He was great at understanding the landscape, the environment for war.
I got 2 words: Harriet Tubman.
I get that.
And Daenerys. Y'all can bring up Daenerys on House of Dragons. Harriet Tubman.
No. She was valid. Underground. She was valid. But I think it came from a different spirit. I think it came from her wanting to get out of slavery and her lead our people out of slavery. But I feel that it always should be just just say, for instance, do a woman want to do garbage? Do a woman want to do certain jobs that men are designed better to do? I just think I'm saying this is we not all built to have the same opinion. I don't care what people think about my opinion, because if we all robots and we get programmed to an algorithm to think a certain way, then what am I? I'm not a human. I'm just a robot. I have my opinion. I think the president of the United States is the captain of the football team. That's just in my opinion.
So, but let me say this. That's because the colonization process, mainstream media have made it, they've made it a sport. Politics is not a sport. Politics is the science of the distribution of wealth. That's all it is. We need to take the people out of it. Politics is about and governing. Like I said, my mother governed the house. My daddy just made money and was gone.
For sure.
She paid all the bills. She executed all the governing principles to manage a household. Absolutely. She got 6, 7 college graduates. I mean, she handled a business.
Absolutely.
And so I'm saying, as far as when you say it's a sport, it's because we've made it a sport. Right now.
Yes. Your mother, your dad was working. You know what I mean? He was bringing home the paycheck. Yeah. So he was backing that woman. Yeah. So
financially support. Yes.
Yeah. If we put a woman in office, and how the stigma is she really going to get back the way that let me say this. Because I think this. Let me say this. I think the epitome of leadership is I will follow you to the depths of hell. I will follow you because because that's what we follow that as leader, because I feel like you would do what I would do. That's what the true definition of leadership is to me. Okay. I'm saying if you willing, I don't think she's willing. I don't think a woman in general is willing to do the same thing as a man, as far as a leader of an army. I would never say that a woman is not. I said that 1,000 times. I think women are smarter than men. I think they manage things better than men do.
Real quick, civics 101. First of all, guys, does anybody before I like to even engage sometimes politically, I ask, who are your two senators for the state? That's why I usually ask people.
Oh, because then everything else is just.
Well, they're Tammy Duckworth and Dick Durbin. So let's start from there. Because you want things that you don't even know who to ask. I ask, who's your senator? Who's your congressperson? Anyway, specifically speaking, the president is just that's one branch of the government. That's the executive branch. Mm-hmm. You have the senators who are there's only 100 senators. Mm-hmm. They craft and write law. There's 435 congressmen. President
is the right Congress people right now in office to
no, and that's the problem.
That's the problem.
We'll find out with this election. I do believe Colin already is going to beat Ted Cruz in Texas. I believe Angela Alsobrook will win in Maryland against that used to be governor. He's a prick. We're going to pick up probably 3 to 4 Senate seats, and we're going to pick up the majority is real similar in the House. They have a 217 to I think 12 or something lead. They only have a 3 or 4 seat lead in the House. The House seats are up every 2 years. You have to, as a congressperson, you have to run for Congress every 2 years. Yeah. Guys, that's what is. All politics are local. Yeah. And so that's our local. She can do nothing. First of all, she's a vice president. She has a chief of staff. I mean, you think that idiot could have run a country? They're surrounded. But listen, she's just.
Uncle Trump was working for me. I'm sorry. In my tax bracket, And where I am, I'm sorry, it may sound ignorant to some.
No, it may not.
But Uncle Trump was working for me, honestly.
I would
And
ask you.
because
I would
he's a
ask you to lay out just
businessman.
how. Is he a six? I just reminded you. He had 6 bankruptcies.
My thing is, bankruptcy
He had a
is not
he had a
illegal.
casino.
There is
he
not
couldn't even.
a,
He had a
you
casino
cannot go
closed.
to jail.
How do you bankrupt a casino?
You cannot go to jail for filing.
How many
bankruptcy.
casinos have you
If
seen
you're
go-
smart enough to finesse the masses,
No,
you're
it's not smart.
enough
You're
to
cheating.
finesse
He
the
didn't pay
masses.
taxes.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey,
But-
it's corrupt. We already know politics are corrupt. He is playing the game. You know what I mean? And the reason
with
why
my
I
life.
like him is because he's not able to be puppeted the way
Are you
that a lot
serious?
of these.
He literally said, "Show the corporate America, give me $1 billion and I'll deregulate everything." For you.
He did.
Are you serious right now?
He did say
Jared
that.
Kushner, his
So
son-in-law.
because the lady won't say it, you don't think she'll do it too?
No, she won't. She won't. She's not in bed with Elon. I call him Leon Musk. Leon Musk. He has over $4 billion. He has over $4 billion in federal government contracts right now with this SpaceX and all these programs. This fool is running around passing out money. You guys have no idea how bad they want to. They want to have all these oligarchs running. There's about probably about 100 of them. They want to run the world.
Yes, they do.
Peter Thiel is
The New World Order.
and these two guys are both from South Africa. Peter Thiel
Yeah.
and Leon Musk are both South Africa, where apartheid was the name of the game. Which we have apartheid here. We don't call it that, but my parents,
democracy.
Yeah, well, it was Jim Crow dressed up. You guys do know that Hitler, the Nuremberg laws were written based on the Southern strategy in this country. They couldn't believe that this country was seen as a beacon of democracy when we literally had apartheid in this country. We did not get the right to vote legally until 1965, guys. I was a year old. 1964, Voting Rights Act. 65, Civil Rights Act. 68, Fair Housing Act. Prior to that, now, post-slavery in 1865, we hit the ground running. From 65 to 77 was called Reconstruction, that 12-year period. We started public schools, black people. We were even educating dumb white people. Right. Freedmen's Bureau, we had it going. Those white people, they were like, what are these Negroes? They come straight off the field and hit the ground. We had over 600 black legislators. We had our first two senators, Hiram Rebels and Blanche K. Bruce, were appointed in the 1870s. We were, just phenomenal. In 12 years, okay. That's when the first stop to steal. It was Samuel Tilden and Rutherford B. Hayes were running for president.
Okay.
Samuel Tilden was the Republican from New York. Tilden was the Democrat from the South. Tilden won by 250,000 popular votes, but the Electoral College was tied. Rutherford B. Hayes told the Southern, because they had just lost all their slaves. Anyway, he told the Southern, hey, if y'all vote for me, I'll get the troops. Because the only reason Reconstruction worked was because the federal troops were in the South protecting us as we transitioned from slavery to freedom.
Okay.
Rutherford B. Hayes told the Southern Democrats, hey, if you guys vote for me, I'll get these troops out of the South. They did. 1877, in come the Ku Klux Klan. So now from 1877 to damn near 1864, 90 years of Jim Crow, 4,500 public lynchings in this country, black people. My father fought in World War II. You know, white boys, So Franklin D. Roosevelt, the New Deal, part of the New Deal was that's how we got Social Security, the GI Bill, all those different things.
Yeah.
My daddy fought in World War II. Black men, when they came back, they didn't get a GI Bill. White boys came back from war, got a GI Bill, got housing. A lot of these people like to live in Wrigleyville, all these nice areas in Chicago.
Like Venezuelans almost now. That's like kind of like almost like kind of what's going on now. They getting all the provisions. You know, they're getting everything.
So that's a little bit. See, once again, like we were talking, Tamara and I were talking about how they want to pit us against each other. Guys, in 1960, my parents were the immigrants. I watched PBS specials and them white people in Gage Park there. We don't want them niggas over here. They saying it out their mouth. These are new niggas. Because we
always say that.
exceeded all their expectations.
Right.
We rose from nothing.
Right.
I'm sitting there with some $650 slip flops on right now. They say, how these niggas, we done everything we could, and we sitting there making a podcast.
Yeah.
So we done beat them.
Right.
They had to go find some new underprivileged people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're letting them in here, guys.
That's slow.
Yeah.
They want them in here so they can pit them against you and make you think that we all fight for these crumbs, y'all.
Absolutely.
Them people don't. If you walk 1,000 miles from what they don't tell you is that we go to Venezuela and exploit the country. We take all their resources, exploit the people. We pay their we allow the bad guys in those countries to take over, and the people flee. Because it becomes lawless. Like it was lawless. My parents fled the terrorism from the South. My daddy when he came back to war, he wasn't trying to hear none of that calling no 12-year-old boy mister.
Yeah.
He was working at this plant and he was pushing a wheelbarrow up the thing and the white boy kicked it over. My daddy looked at him. He went back down. When he came back up, the white boy said, if you kick this wheelbarrow, I'm gonna take this shovel and knock your brains out. They shut the plant down. They ushered my daddy had to flee. They was gonna kill him.
Wow.
And he came to Chicago. Off that train, off Roosevelt.
Migrating from where again?
Mississippi, Greenville, Mississippi.
Like
Most of us did. And so when we got to Chicago in the 50s, we were like the immigrants coming from, we were just migrating from the South.
Yeah.
It was lawless in Mississippi. It's still lawless, but they were hanging Negroes from trees. We fled terrorism to come to Chicago.
Yeah.
So with you being privy to seeing like both sides from then and now, what is the biggest difference that you're seeing? Like back then, I'm sure people were more appreciative of things.
I asked this very question to my frat brother, Reverend Jesse Jackson, before he kind of lost his. I mean, he's suffering from some dementia now.
Okay.
I was at King High School. I officiated basketball. And I was sitting next to him just like this. I said, dog, tell me this, man. Because he was on the balcony at the Lorraine Motel.
Who?
Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Reverend Jesse.
He was on that Lorraine Motel. I worked in streets and sanitation. And that was the last, Dr. King, the last strike he was participated in was for me to sit in that big pretty truck I ride every day.
Okay.
Because Robert Walker and Echo Coles, two laborers in Memphis, but back then we couldn't even get inside the truck. Now I'm driving the truck. Sometimes I had white boys behind my truck or Hispanics, but we couldn't even get inside the truck. And it was raining really heavy, and those two guys got in the back and they got smashed by the jaws of life. And the streets and sanitation of Memphis refused to pay them. So they went on strike in January, and it lasted. Dr. King, Dr. Abernathy, Reverend Jackson, they all went down to protest with them on April 4th, 1968. And after the protest, they were on the balcony at the Lorraine Motel, and Dr. King got his brains blown out.
Yeah.
So for that seat I sit in every day, he died for me. So I know those two, Robert Walker and Echo Coles, were the laborers. I have a shirt that says, "I am a man." They was making like less than $1 an hour. Full disclosure, we make like $45, $48 an hour now. But we couldn't even get inside the trucks. I don't know if you ever saw the movie Fences by August Wilson.
Yeah.
With Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
Anyway, we couldn't even get in the truck back then. But back to your question. I went off on a tangent. Reverend Jackson said to me, he looked at me real matter-of-factly and he said, back then we wasn't free and we knew we wasn't free.
Okay.
He said, today, we think we free.
But we still ain't free.
No, I
That's
ain't.
cold.
Not
So
yet.
what would you tell your granddaughter, your grandson, to make sure they don't fall in that same gap?
History. We have to know. Guys, what's happening today happened hundreds of years ago. They have the playbook. It's called epigenetics. These things that we're experiencing the same trauma that we did. And I get it. The colonization process. Why do you think they're banning books in school? Yeah. They forbid us to learn how to read.
My son haven't brought a book home.
Always
My
have.
son,
Right.
well, he's out of high school and everything now, but I'm talking about 4th, 5th grade. I can remember like, you don't get homework anymore. Like,
This is what one of my favorite
books.
One of my favorite radio
Where is
hosts,
this at?
Larry Daniel Favors, always says the Jews would never let the oppressors teach their children, the Germans. We're letting the oppressors teach our children.
This is true.
So his
Yeah, the people that oppressed
his
us.
story
It's
is
his
what we
story.
let.
I say to this day, Brown versus Board of Education, 1954, was probably one of the worst things that could have happened to us. I know we meant well, Dr. King, because what he understood is that the reason that they could have that level of vitriol and hatred and throwing, when they came to Chicago, they had golf ball with nails in it. And Cicero and white folks was, man, Dr. King and them were getting their head beat to the white meat all the time. Yeah. But he understood, what he felt in his heart is that it's easy to demonize somebody if you don't live with them, if you don't work with them, if you don't see them as people. They dehumanize us. And so that's why he fought so hard for integration.
Yes.
But the process in '54, when Brown v. Board of Education and Thurgood Marshall, when that whole thing went down, we were fighting for it. We really didn't want to go to school with them. We just wanted equal facilities. If y'all give us some money, we'll make our own school.
Yeah.
Because what we had.
Because they killed Black Wall Street.
Where
So
the schools were bad, but you had teachers that told the kids, hey, you could be whatever you want to be.
For sure.
And so there was love, and we had, they would run down schools, but there was, there weren't limits put on the children. We sent them to these white kids. The same people that was outside yelling, niggas don't go, them was the teachers.
Yeah.
So when you get that, boy, you can't be no lawyer, you gonna be a janitor. Or maybe.
They want to put them in training.
Right.
They are not put
Yes.
on higher education.
And so I'm
They
telling
still
you.
doing that.
And they, guys, yeah. And guess what? Over 100,000 black educators lost their jobs.
Yeah.
Education was a major source of jobs for us back then. Principals and they were the Carnegie. I mean, these people were highly educated, but all those jobs were lost when we integrated these folks.
So, Pops, what do we need right now? Like, what do we need to turn that corner? You think personally? Like, you have. I always brag about you. The man is cold. He's inundated with knowledge. But I just want to know, like, as a people, how do we make that change? Like, what do we, where we go from here? Because we fractured.
It's trauma, bro. I told you, epigenetically, we've been traumatized we've been taught. I always say, and I say it as a joke, don't nobody buy our hair. We buy everybody else's hair. But my hair is a form of resistance. I wear it because how you gonna define what beauty is for me?
Okay.
But they do all the time. My hair ain't professional, but the white boy, he just got hair.
What
makes that professional?
Yeah.
Man, your hair, they tell you, he'll come in and they'll tell him, oh, that's not professional. Buffy got this, he got hair on his head. What's the difference? We've allowed somebody else to tell us
who we are.
They made us put chemicals in our hair, which we found out now is cancer causing.
Cancerous, yeah.
To look like them.
Yeah.
So how do you feel like seeing it? Do you think it's kind of funny how they stripped all of our essence to turn right back around to do everything that we do,
right.
Fill their
It's a
lips,
manipulation,
you know what I mean? Now
though. They
wanna curl
manipulated
their hair.
us.
They tell us to straighten our hair just so they can go get perms in their
We
hair,
set
make
the
their hair
culture.
curly.
They want to be us.
Absolutely.
They can't believe, they know what's been done to us and they see we still ride. Look at these people.
Yeah, but we have the dominant gene.
We just don't know who we are. They do. Real quick, Kevin Roberts, there's something called the Heritage Project. They wrote Project 2025, if you guys have heard about that. Kevin Roberts,
Tell us more.
his name is Dr. Kevin Roberts. This man did his dissertation to become a doctor on the Haitian Revolution and the Nat Turner slave revolt. Now,
The what part? The what?
he did his dissertation. His name is Dr. Kevin Roberts, the white boy.
Okay.
He is the president of the Heritage Foundation that wrote Project 2025.
Okay.
He did his dissertation to become a doctor on the Haitian Revolution in 1807 and the Nat Turner slave revolt, which was in like 1831. He did. So if you do a dissertation, I mean, you have to study something inside out. You have to present. You have to, yes.
Very
So this
thorough.
white boy knows more about us than everybody in this room
I believe it.
knows
Yeah.
about us.
I believe
They know who we are.
Yeah.
We just don't know. The minute we know, the minute we realize the power that we are, I'll stop taking your
That
life.
so much. We hear that so much, and as a younger generation, we hear that so much. But it seems like a lot of older people have taken a stance of stepping back and allowing us to kind
For
of
sure.
figure it out on our own. And it's like, hey, yeah, we tried, or
They ain't
we
listening.
had to get it on our own, or we're not listening. So they kind of leave us amok. They kind of leave us out here in a sense, and then kind of sit back and pass judgment.
That's nothing new. SCLC, Southern Christian Leadership, and SNCC, Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. They evolved out of the SCLC because the SCLC was a little more old-fashioned, and SNCC was like, no, man, we about that light. The white boy hit me, I'm hitting him back.
Okay.
And so that dynamic has always existed.
Okay.
It seems new, but that's why I say history. When we learn these things, we'll understand. And that's by design. You know, when you're 21, you're invincible. John Lewis when he marched on the W Marquette Rd Bridge, he was 20 years, got his head split to the white meat.
Like
the white boys was there, and they in Congress. We still couldn't get the John Lewis Voting Rights Act passed.
So back to kind of spinning it back to politics
Yes.
and things like that. So we get Kamala in office right now. Kamala.
Yes.
Mr.
Sound like Trump. Go ahead.
I told y'all that was my uncle. I'm standing on what I stand on. Y'all can judge me tomorrow. You know what I mean? I'm standing on what I stand on. But, you know, is she really gonna get that backing? So where, as far as, do you think a lot of black people are gonna go out here and be like, we're powerful now? Or do you think a lot of white people are going to? We
made that mistake in 2008. We thought that once Obama won, we free now.
Yeah.
And we didn't do the work.
No.
That
And
is
so
true.
2 years,
Facts, right?
2 years later, we lost like 40 congressional seats in the House.
Yes, we did.
Because people stayed home. We thought, man, we made it.
Yeah.
And the white boys,
It was
the
based
white
off
boys
of
said,
time.
hold my beer. We said we free. The white boys said, hold my beer. We gonna show y'all what's up. And they went to work. I'm serious. John Roberts in the Supreme Court in 2011, Citizens United, 2013, they have literally gutted the Voting Rights Act, which was passed in 1965. In 2013, John Roberts, the Chief Justice on the Supreme Court, literally said, oh, you got a black president. There's no need for voting rights. And Clarence Thomas, the Negro in the back, was like, yeah, let's just kill the whole bill. They gutted the Voting Rights Act. Section 5 says that if your state has a history of voter suppression, you can't do anything to your voting rights laws unless you run it through DOJ. They gutted that in 2013.
Okay.
In 2011, Citizens United, at one time, corporations could only give a limited amount of money in politics. 2011, Citizens United, they said, well, that's unfair. That's
Give
in
as much
violation.
as you want.
Yes, that's in violation of their civil rights. Corporations are like people. They changed the game. They moved the
they do.
goalposts. See,
The United States is a corporation, if you think about it.
It is.
We're a corporation.
It definitely
It
So
is.
it's like as much money as that's why
But
we're
guess
in a
what?
$1 trillion deficit.
But guess
and
what? The
things
people
like
with the
because-
people with the least resources gonna lose.
Yeah.
That's why they move the goalposts.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now that's why Leon Musk running around giving people $1 million to sign up to vote, which is illegal. I can't give you water
It
in
is.
Georgia in line. They passed a law in
It's
Georgia
very
in
illegal.
2021. They passed a law that I can't give you water if you stand in.
Look, this funny.
Yeah. I can't hand you. No, listen. That's a law in Georgia that they passed that I can't give you a bottle of water while you stand in line. But this fool can give somebody $1 million for registering to vote.
So what you think we could do though? I'm saying like if they
I'm
keep
telling you, we have got to get information. We have got to find out. We have got to.
Where's that information?
do we got to galvanize?
No. I think we really learned by proxy by your grandparents. We need to start picking these people brains.
Man, my grandparents not even old, Rob. Honestly, I have an aunt that's like 57.
Okay.
She only 10 grandkids. What is she?
But
at 57
guess what?
Teaching her
When
10
she was
grandkids?
17, she didn't have no cell phone.
But she had 3 babies. at
But
17.
she can talk to you about how to effectively communicate.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
A skill that we don't have today.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll all be in this room texting each other. Won't even be talking.
Yeah.
That's why we struggle sometimes with interviews because we don't know how to socialize.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We studio gangsters. Then when we do see each other, it's going and pop. Because we've been built up all this anxiety through these devices.
Absolutely.
We don't have resolution conflict skills.
Conflict resolution.
Yeah, conflict resolution. We don't have it. And so, but what she can tell you is how to communicate effectively. We have to. Knowledge comes in a lot of forms. It may not. I hope I pass my drug test Monday. I'm not gonna do
Edit, no. He got a pass.
No, you good, dog. You good. I'm sitting. I might be high right now talking crazy.
It's in the air. That's what happened.
I really
Smoke. I gotta pass my
real
test on Monday.
talk. Real talk. I'm a certified drug and alcohol counselor. Real talk. I'm a certified drug and alcohol counselor. I've been clean 22 years. 4 months and what's today? Today is the
The first. It's the first of the
and
month.
28 days.
Oh,
22
wow.
years, 4 months, and 28 days.
Okay.
Clean. And so,
For sure.
whew, I think I'm having right now though.
It's in the air.
Got a
It's in the
contact.
air.
But no, real talk.
This is this whole
But
complex. He was like,
but the land the plane for us, we have to have some empathy for each other. First
We do.
of all, understanding that when we say stuff like black people don't vote,
That
that's
is
not
so
true.
condescending.
Guys, if we didn't vote, why would they pass 200,
Yeah.
400 pieces of legislation saying I can't give you water? We are voting.
Yeah.
we just
Please.
voted at the wrong time.
No, but
you know
we-
what I mean. We want to show up at the presidential election.
But we didn't-
Again,
That
Right.
two
too.
years
That part
ago,
too.
that we should have been voting to make sure we get this black woman in office. We weren't showing up at the
And
polls
I'm
like
saying,
that.
so we learned our lesson in 28. Those of us in the African diaspora who understand civically what we need to do.
Okay.
We went to bed when Barack got in. We was so happy we were dancing and
Yeah.
he just
Yeah, we wanna have statues all in the house.
right.
Oh my
But
God.
my parents who grew up in the Jim Crow era got to see a black president. I'm sure they thought they'd never see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom before she died.
And we about to see a woman. We may thought we'd never see that.
For sure.
But the Simpsons.
Hey, but,
We were gonna get a woman
The
president.
future tellers. That's so
But I mean, I'll be honest. Like when I go, and I hate to, I'm shaming myself, but sometimes when I vote, if I haven't prepared myself to know who the judges are, I'll vote straight women because I figure women have
More
children, they have family, they may have more compassion.
But that might not be true.
May not.
You got some jaded woman up there, and in her whole life,
And it's
he
possible.
ain't been getting down
It's
with
possible.
her.
But-
And then
but
some
guess
young
what?
man like my
Smoking.
son comes
Smoking.
in front of her.
It might be right.
Look at him.
But guess what?
because
Yeah.
Her
Smoking.
boyfriend got down on her
If
yesterday.
if I was walking down the street and it was 10 women on this side of the street and 10 dudes over there, I'm over here. I'm gonna trust them. That they might see. Yeah, they might see me as somebody's son. Or like,
So you gonna play on women's empathy.
man, yeah, they might. Exactly.
Right, for sure. I
Homie
get
them like my man had me blocked in. Like Joe, let me see what that vest do.
Women are employees, no.
No, I'm serious. But I mean, I just, man, women are like the salt of the earth. I mean,
Yes.
but Malcolm X literally said that black women are probably the most least protected species on earth.
that. I agree
Back
with.
to the protection. We
that
just
I
had
agree
to
with,
cover
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is my man Malcolm X. He right up there on that top row.
He on my back.
Right there.
Literally.
He said that the black woman is the least protected woman in the world.
absolutely.
But they carry the biggest burden. I mean, you guys are just.
Why y'all so mean?
That's another trope. They aren't
Don't you
mean.
start your
Why y'all
back.
so
They aren't mean.
Why y'all so hateful? man?
No,
Why
it's
y'all
not
so-
that. Sometimes
Y'all teach us how to treat y'all emotionally, though. You know what I mean? Because,
Explain.
all right, you telling me I'm dealing with you, and your whole aspect, back to general conversations we've had, you're looking for that employee. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? So
I'm looking
if-
for submissiveness.
Okay, we talked
Whatever
about that.
words
So,
you want to go
as a
ahead.
if a woman comes into your life as a submissive woman, you know what I mean? You're really you're teaching her how to treat you. You know? So how does she know how to show up for you emotionally when you're stressed out, when you really only want her in a certain role, when you only want her in a box?
I don't
So
want her in a
therefore, when
box.
she shuts down or don't know how to console you as a man, now you may potentially run off to another woman, finding solace in that. But because you placed her in a box, you never gave her that opportunity to really show up for you emotionally.
communication. Like I said, your uncle teach you. We have to learn how to effectively communicate.
Yes.
With each
I
other.
can't read your. I'm a great dude, but I can't read mine. I need you to tell me what you
Speak up,
need.
yeah.
For sure.
What you need as a woman.
Okay.
But I honestly, in my opinion, I don't hit women. I think I'm very chivalrous. I have showed up for women in the right way, in my opinion. I'm not saying I'm perfect or anything like that, but I've always gotten resistance. It's like,
They were the wrong women at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the time
and your
was.
wrong season.
and the
or
time was
maybe
fair
it's
enough, fair
the
enough,
season
fair
that you
enough.
may have been in. So
Let me ask you another question.
Yeah,
Sorry to
come
cut
on
you
with
off.
these
Let me ask the black women this question. Why y'all so comfortable disrespecting black men?
some women.
Comfortable.
So therefore, it's a
Super
great matter.
comfortable.
And you got to understand, it's the women that you make choose.
Can you
know
give
what
a
I mean?
scenario?
No, I'm not even talking about. I'm not
Can
even
you
talking
give a
about.
scenario?
So I'm gonna give you a scenario.
You're
I've
boxing
heard
us.
women call men bitches. Excuse my
Some
language.
women. I have a son that's 20 years old. I
No.
would never call my son a bitch. So therefore, why would I call someone else's son a bitch? Not every woman is built to come at a man and emasculate men. What if I didn't grow up in a household seeing
So let me
men
ask you this. So
emasculate?
let me ask you this, right? In your again, you paying attention to the world, your ethnography work, right? You looking at what's going on. I not only have I experienced it myself, I've seen men get called out their
Gang
name
of 'em.
by
I've
women.
seen
So
it.
what are you talking about? You saying women
But
don't do that?
Okay, I'll give you this. I'm from Ohio as well,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's a split dynamic. And I'm not about to put all Chicago women in a box. But I do feel like in certain demographics, certain women move according to that. A lot of women here are more aggressive. They move in a more defensive kind of a way. So therefore...
That ain't defensive though.
I mean, yes it is, because you got to
How?
think. We're in an ocean full of sharks right now.
So let me-
and if we don't have those men backing us at home, we don't have the fathers, we don't have the brothers, you know what I mean? We are out here protecting ourselves against sharks. So what do you mean? Of course, sometimes we walk with a chip on your shoulder. You walk with that not so approachable
Indeed.
demeanor. You know what I mean?
But I'm just saying this though.
It's not
I
that
can't
you're-
call another man out his name.
Okay.
So it's dangerous to do that. I'm saying if I'm not allowed to do that, then what makes you as a woman feel comfortable?
No, because she wasn't raised right. You
And
know
I'm gonna
what I
say
mean?
probably
She wasn't raised
on
right.
some level, sometimes
Yeah.
it's a defense
She know no
mechanism.
better.
All of us guys, you know, we've been colonized into this system. You know, as people, as Africans, we're really village cultural. Like we're more. We're not about that. We're about the community.
Yeah.
They made us
Absolutely.
like this, where we
Absolutely.
like individualism and everybody out for
Yeah.
themselves. That ain't who we are.
Yeah.
We lost our core values.
Yes, that's not who we are.
Yeah.
But
That's
I
true.
would say that for a young woman, if you see that happening, I would kind of say that's an isolated situation where and some of them have like seen women who
Trauma.
behave like that.
Trauma.
Some trauma. And I've seen, and they may have seen women who behave like that get their way and say, "Ooh, I like that. I'm gonna try that." They may see some, you know, man, Lupe Fiasco's "Bad Bitch" song probably is
Oh,
like,
that's deep.
yeah,
That's a
it's
deep
one of
song
those
right
songs
there.
that when you, and when our young people see these things, they see, you know, they may see they may see a Mega Stallion or somebody like really clown a dude, and not knowing she got like three security guards behind her while she talking,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But they may say,
For
man,
sure.
she look boss, she got her
Right.
way, and so we're driven by a lot of images and this, you know, it could be the total opposite where a woman may have seen her mother or her sister just be battered and taken advantage of. Like, man, I ain't gonna let that happen to me.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put this
Or a lot of
exterior
times-
on, and I'm gonna make you think, man, that I'm tough.
Well, back to what you were saying, you kind of group women are saying like, why do y'all think it's why do we think it's comfortable to call a man out of your names, right? I can flip it and say, why are y'all comfortable staying in a situation with a woman that's calling you out of your name?
Yeah,
I
my
can
daddy
ask the
always told
question,
me, man,
did your
don't-
mom do that to you? You know what I mean? Was your sisters doing that to you? Because if you stand on business and if this is something that you stand on, it's one and done. You know what I mean? He don't get a second chance to disrespect you or violate you in that kind of a way. If that's something that you've never experienced before, it will shock your system. You know what I mean? A man just jaw me in my face and I've never been hit before. I can't come back to him and we lay up in the bed tomorrow and talk about it. That would shock my system. I
Yeah.
would never come back from
Yeah.
that. So if you're a man and you've never been emasculated from primitive women in your life, the very first rando woman that did it to you, how did you accept it? How did you accept it from another woman? How did you accept it from the next woman?
The
You know,
same
they
way,
start
the
somewhere too.
same way you accept abuse in a relationship. It's the same thing.
You don't
Yeah.
accept abuse in a relationship.
I mean, we talking. You may be talking in an anomaly, right? But in general, women do accept abuse in a relationship, and we always ask this one question: why are you there?
Well,
Why are you
as a
saying-
drug and
Men do
alcohol
too.
counselor, I would ask my clients.
Men do
It's
too.
that battered wife, somebody who smokes crack cocaine or drinks alcohol, or you know, they you see them laid out on the street, you say, man, bro,
you doing?
Yeah, it's like being in a battered relationship.
not even in
It's
their
like,
right mind.
Well, it's like seeing that one with a black eye. Say, man, why don't you just leave him?
Yeah.
It sounds easy, but
It's a whole neurological it's a chemical imbalance going on. It's like you can't even, and then we give up on them because we feel like we don't get the response because they're not capable, and you be like, oh well, she gonna go back. Nobody is really like,
They do go back.
But it's a learned
They do
because
go back.
because they're out of their mind.
It's also
though.
a learned
they're not
behavior.
Getting help.
It's something that you may have witnessed this growing up. You
They
may
can
have,
change that. You know what I
it's
mean? It's a choice
But-
at the end of the day.
But it's also a learned behavior. You learn that behavior. You see that. I mean, some people equate that with attention, any kind of attention.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a man in my neighborhood, and I'm not gonna say where I'm from, but if y'all seen him, y'all know where I'm from. But he's a junkie, and the way he gets his attention, if you kind of look at him long enough, he'll just drop on the ground and just start rolling around. You know what I mean? And then as he on the ground, he kind of look up to kind of see who's watching him. So that kind of to me goes back to what you're saying. Some people stay in those states for attention, regardless if it's negative attention.
That is
Even
called
if it's
borderline personality.
Yeah.
I don't know what to call
Can
it.
we engage
That
the
is
people?
exactly what it's
I
called.
know it is,
Yeah.
Can we engage the audience at all?
Yeah.
Because I'd like to ask any young woman, have you ever called a man, be
honest.
All of them in this audience
honest.
have. Everybody has.
I just got called a bitch and I ain't do nothing.
in this room?
I just got shit. No.
Oh, see what I'm saying?
How did that make you feel though?
I mean,
You used to it?
I'm used to it.
Ooh,
From who?
Oh my gosh.
I guess my girl.
No, before your girl. How did
Before
you
my
accept
girl?
it from your girl? Who did you accept it from first? Your mama?
Shoot, I ain't really accept that. No.
Your mama ain't never do it?
No, ma'am.
So your very first girlfriend did it. And you liked her that much?
I wouldn't say it was my very first girlfriend. I want to just say it was a girl that I tolerated it from.
Well, man, what part did you play? How did you provoke her to? Did you provoke her to say that, or she just?
Nah, I want to say if anything, she was just mad that I just took the route I took and she wasn't included with it.
So that
She
young
felt
lady,
left out.
that same young lady that you're talking about and I'm putting her out here on Front Street, was her daddy in her life?
Nah.
Did she have brothers in her life?
Yeah.
And were those brothers like really like those protective type, or were they just kind of like out here guys and let her figure it out for herself?
Figuring it out for herself.
So when you have those kind of dynamics, you know what I mean, you have harder type of women.
That's what I was saying about you put that mask on.
And now she's hitting you with masculine energy. And now again, not putting your business out here, but was your dad in the house or was you raised by your mom by yourself?
No, I was raised with my grandma.
So therefore you were still raised by primitive like feminine energy. So now here you have a chick that don't have any kind of male role model, so all she is straight energy. You don't really have any kind of male figure in your life, so you hitting her with straight energy.
So let me say this. I that's something that really bothers me sometimes.
Okay.
As men, right? If a woman don't have a male role model,
That don't give her no right to treat you no kind of way.
right? But I'm saying in this aspect, right? If a woman don't have a male role model or she acts masculine, that's fair game because of what she's been through. But there's no way on earth I can act feminine and it be okay in any aspect
Y'all
of
do still
where
act
you can
feminine.
rationalize and it be like, oh, I can't negotiate my masculinity. That's never off the table without me compromising my integrity as a man. So
Yo.
why isn't that for y'all? Like, why isn't it, if you said several times here that she acting like a dude, she got that masculine energy, but if you flip that, can I ever come with some feminine energy?
Well,
Can I ever come with some?
Let me
Can
tell
I ever
you how
come
it
with some?
comes. Let me tell you exactly how it comes. You know what I mean? Y'all may not come to the table and saying, yeah, I act like a female because I was raised by my mama, but the way it comes out is the mere fact y'all sit up there and argue with me. You know what I mean? The mere fact that you would text me 1,001 times, you sending me MMSs, you doing clinical stuff, you acting like a female. You know what I mean? You're coming at it as an emotional
I'm communicating and acting like a female.
No, no, you're acting and maybe communicating what you seen, your mother.
Hey, let my man. He wanted to.
Yeah, he did have a question.
Sorry, y'all got a little rough.
No, I like that. But come on, man, like, I understand, like, the new age modern female, you know what I'm saying? It's not the modern female that we accustomed to, like, older, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? People in their prime. People who was raised, people who was raised by grandmothers and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Who are in the younger generation and got sense.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, being from an aspect of, like, not knowing. Like people, like you can't blame a mother for not being there or a father not being there for that child being who that is. Because it's those that do outstep their boundaries and they, you know what I'm saying, they excel. But we got those that don't. So, all right, cool. Like I don't blame them, but at the same time, I don't get them the right way. I don't get them the leeway, but at the same time, I get them like. I get them a pass. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't know. It's unknown. It's unknown. That's what we don't know. So when we, like she said, a chop, bam. Oh, you a B, what the bam. It's not per se that we accept it to be word. You know what I'm saying? It's like, whoa, wait, hold on.
Where you
You don't
coming
know no
from?
better than not call no man. No
I can't hit you in your mouth.
Exactly. Because as being a man, I'm not gonna put my hands on you. But like he said, I tolerate you. You know what I'm saying? Okay, yeah, my mother might not raise me in a household. You be this, you be that. Because you know what I'm saying. Some people have a household where that is, you know what I'm saying, heavy in the foundation. But it's like that person that you see is a person that don't know themselves. You can't fault that person for not knowing themselves. So it's up to you.
Is
Like,
it your job? Is that become your assignment?
that's what I'm saying. That submissive woman that you want. You create that person. So once she, hey, B, hey, look, off the rip, hey, we don't play that game. We don't even, I don't mean you, that's not for us.
That's what I was about to say. That's conflict resolution. You talk to them, hey, listen.
Communication, but people aren't raised under the actual communication. Like, as of recently, I heard people that I love dearly, like grew up with, slept on the floors with, from grandmother's teaching and all type of shit, after my grandmother passed away, tell me, that same person to them, that we should focus on ourselves and, you know, their individual thing. That they trying to portray us to be, that they trying to manage us to be. And it hit me in a different aspect, because I just came home from jail during the time, and I'm like, focus on myself. I'm like, my grandma Nancy just said, focus on myself. That's not a real thing. Like, as a community, when you got a problem, who you gonna go call, mama?
But see, what happens, back to somebody said it in the audience, it's that trauma. You know what I mean? So you may have had that time and those opportunities to yourself to appreciate what you had. You know what I mean? But probably when you was in the midst of it, when you was in it, you took that for granted too. Just like a lot of us are already out here doing. So because we're in a very selfish society, it is a very get down how you live. You know what I mean? Those are the choices that you made because you made those choices and now you want to come back. Don't mean my life stops. You know what I mean? And it's very selfish thinking. But again, you also have to give those people a pass too. Because while you may have been able to have that moment to appreciate them, they still in it every day in the grind, the struggle. They don't have those moments to stop and think like, oh, it's about family. Let me put my $20 to the side to put it on your books today so I'm not going to eat just because we family. You know, and yes, as Black people, we are torn apart with that. But at the same time, you teach people how to treat you too. You know what I mean? So it's
I was
like,
just about to say that.
was it that family dynamic before you went in to make a person when you come out treat you like family? Because I got a brother that's doing time right now. You know what I mean? That's in and out of jail since we've been kids. He never was about family. But now he older and he doing a bid. It's like, why my siblings not reaching out to me? You know what I mean? Why they not doing X, Y, and Z? Because when you was out here, was you checking on me? When we was free, was you worrying about me, your only sister? You know what I mean? But now you in jail, now I'm supposed to worry about family.
Family
you
be
teach
missing,
people how to treat you too.
Family, but a lot of families are missing their counsel. They don't have those elders to say, we gonna have a meeting. Yeah. Sure. Okay, we need to address this.
Which is what I said earlier. So communication, you know, we got to check in with the people that have information, and we have to conflict resolution. So some of the keys from today's, we want to leave it with information. We want to leave it with some tools.
Yeah.
And a different way to think. First of all, I'm gonna say I'm glad you brothers like your the way you handled the situation as far as you're like, hey man, I just I kind of let it because you didn't act in the moment. You like you said, you understood where she was coming from. First of all, man, we don't have the right to control, fix, manage, and control people. If somebody doesn't, like she said, if somebody doesn't treat you the way you think you should be treated, you have to move on. We can't change. You
can't stay in that situation and force it. And I do have to ask a question again based off of what we were talking about before when y'all was talking about a man call you out of your name, you'd be ready to risk the biscuit. You know what I mean? But she called you out your name and you were willing to accept it. You being who you are, you go outside right now today, a man you don't know call you a bitch. Would you be willing to risk it for the biscuit.
I would say it's the context though. We used to say back in the day,
the difference.
sticks and stones may break my bones, but words care.
How is me calling you a bitch any different from him calling a bitch in your response? I still, as a female, don't understand that.
Yeah.
And you stand on business, and you always say, why is it okay for females to think they can say that? You know what I mean? But y'all accept it. But then y'all want to go out here and go rah because a man, no, accept it for him too. You know what I mean?
I think the consequences.
I don't understand
the consequences and the context is totally, the context set up the consequences to be different.
Okay.
The context is that's a woman. If it's certain things I can't even talk to a woman the same way I talk to a man. So I definitely can't engage in physical violence the same way I can engage with a man.
It's unacceptable.
It's unacceptable at any just like it's in a relationship. It's certain things that a woman can do in that relationship that ain't nobody gonna look at her. I ain't even talking about hitting her. I'm talking about some things that I can do to maybe bully her a little bit. I'm gonna be looked at in a negative context versus if you do it. It's just different. It's just different strokes for different folks. He can't do the same thing he can do to a woman, and I think women know that too. And I think that's the part of that's the question I was begging to ask. Do y'all know that? Do you know that it's a good chance or a great probability that he won't put his hands on you? That's why you would do that.
I've seen quite a few women with their teeth missing.
There are some.
I've seen some women with their teeth missing. They took their chance. And some cats ain't, man, they just respond.
For sure.
I've seen, that's, I'm serious.
I might like you a little more of your take.
I used to always say,
for me,
I brag, say, man, I still, I used to brag about having my teeth standing. That's how you know I got a little conflict resolution skill. I can talk my way out of stuff. I still got my teeth. So when I see people that ain't got their teeth, they might not have. They may have they may have tried. Sometimes you try somebody and you get the right one. And
For
so,
sure, 100%.
That's
100%. That's.
But I'm serious, man. There's a saying that hurt people. We have to learn how to internalize some. And I always say, I never forget. I was riding down 55 one day. I was training some clients out in the suburbs, and this dude was walking. His brother was walking down 55. He was at like maybe Cicero when I was going. On the way back, he was at like Central, and I'm like, man, this dude. I bent a corner and I pointed. I said, man, Joe, where you going? He said, man, I'm going to Joliet.
Walking. He's like, wasn't that Harriet something?
Right. I say, man, come on. I always ask, God, if this is okay. I said, man, come on, get in.
Walking.
He got in, we get to talking. I got a chance to share my testimony. First of all, I said, man, he said, man, my girl put me on 63rd. I said, oh, Playboy, what part did you play in this? People don't just put you out the car and out of town. You did something.
And you going to Joliet?
Yeah, you did something.
And you're 63rd.
So he had a chance to talk about it. But anyway, I said all that to say that, sometimes we have to just, like I said, do you communicate? That's one of the key words. Like I said about your aunt. The one thing, she might have 10 babies and 12 husbands. I don't care. She got some information.
Yeah.
But she done dealt with all them people.
Yeah.
So she's got some communication skills. So we have to see past the fact that she may not have her hair down and her clothes. She may not look. There's information in people. I talk to people all the time. The homeless, the unhoused person. I don't even call them homeless. Everybody has information. We have to get information. We have to share information.
So food can teach you how not to.
Man, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Teach me how not to be.
My dad always tell me that. He told me a long time ago, and I use that a lot. He told me, everybody knows something you don't know.
Yeah.
So it's better to just be quiet sometimes.
I had a professor when I was in Chicago. At Kennedy King, man. Her name was. She used to. People would be sitting in the back talking, and she would say, hey man. And I said, man, Miss Buckman, what is it gonna take for people to, I'm in there trying to get my lesson on. You know what I'm saying? Y'all in there talking.
Yeah.
She said, hey, you know what you know, but you don't know what I know. You came in my class.
Right.
You back there talking. You came to get what I have.
Right.
So y'all back there talking to each other. Y'all, you know what you know, but you don't know what I know. So you came to get what I know. So be quiet and you know what I'm saying, learn something.
Yeah.
So it's a reason, like you said, we got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Man, you got to listen and just, empathy. We have to have some empathy for each other. We so quick to, and I get it. The world, anti-blackness is a worldwide sentiment. I just got back from Ghana 2 weeks ago. And even it was beautiful to be on an airplane of 400 people and 396 of them black.
Okay.
Because it's usually the other way around.
Right.
You get the guy, the whole, everybody at the airport black. Every job is a black job. The doctor to the janitor. And so, and everybody over there hustling. And I asked my tour guy, I said, man, what's going on? She was like, man, you know, if you've been colonized for so long, and it's like, you don't want to work for nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just all up and down the street. Everybody's, that suit case I bought on the street. I thought, I got dude down to a dub.
You better wear that dub suit next week.
No, he broke my suitcase.
I broke the wheel of the suitcase.
And he told me he bought me another one.
I bought it in Ghana. I was walking through the neighborhood. I said, man, shit. Because, you know, they got different money over there. And so, but I went, once I exchanged it, I knew, but they'll get you if you don't know.
Right.
He said, I said, man, I'll give you he said, man, $20. I said, I'll be right back. I came back. And he wasn't there. His boy was there. I said, man, dude told me a dub, Joe. We was going back and forth. My girl was getting nervous. He was like watching my back. And I'm like, anyway, that's how I got that suitcase. But no, empathy, guys.
Post it in the chat.
No, but listen, empathy, we have to, you know, if we got to understand, you know, when we see a young guy in a Bentley, he 20-something years old, what's the first thing come across our mind?
Drug dealer.
So now, if I'm going to do that, I can't get mad when they do it.
For sure. For sure.
I can't get mad when they do it, but I know a whole lot of people talk about black people.
I say that all the time.
People say all the time. Black folks don't, they lazy. I work with a whole bunch of Negroes, and if we start at 6, if I don't get to work by 5:40, I can't get nowhere to park. They show up.
Yeah.
We make good money. So I don't know nobody that don't go to work.
Yeah.
I don't know nobody that's getting high no more. So when you don't miss me with all that. Generalizing about me. Don't tell me.
In your profession, right?
I'm just saying it's right, but I'm saying, yeah, don't tell. We got to stop letting people define us and tell us who we are.
The environment sometimes paint that picture for people as well. Because I could see, like today I seen a Bentley at the gym. I was like, okay. And he was a young guy. But then I'm like, I pieced it with the environment. And I'm like, he might do something. Or maybe his family got money. But I think sometimes the environment would make you paint a picture on the person.
But even if you saw him on Michigan Avenue,
or a lot of people
think
put
the same
themselves
thing.
in the environment so they can hope they look like that to attract what's really there that really belong there. You know what I mean? I can pay for a monthly subscription to a gym downtown, you know what I mean, just to make sure that I pull up to the Bentley, to make sure that I'm in that environment. You know what I mean? That don't necessarily mean that person that's in the Bentley belong there or you belong there either. Right. You know what I mean?
But I'm just saying,
we're together and we're gonna try to figure it out.
So what I'm saying about the empathy and the voting, we've only been in this political game a little over 60 years. Mm-hmm. They've been in it for 360 years. So they know how this thing works. They designed it. And so we got to not be so frustrated when, man, we don't want to vote. That's not true. Yeah. It's going to take time. It's going to take us some time. You know, 1619, Jamestown, Virginia, when we first landed here from, I mean, it's almost, we were enslaved in this country from 1619 to 18, like 250 years. We were enslaved longer than we are free. Mm-hmm. And so we have to be patient with each other. That's all I'm saying. Ain't nobody else gonna love us but
give
us.
each other grace.
Yeah, have some grace and not pass.
I love y'all black people. Love you black people.
Yeah, I'm saying, man, for us to be sitting here tonight, this won't get no play because we ain't in here arguing, killing and fighting and shooting. Like I officiate this flag football league on 47th State. Man, it'd be 600, 700 young black people out there having a ball. I've been out there for almost 15 years. I'm a dirty old man. I love it.
It's co-ed. It's co-ed. That's what you're talking about.
It's a flag football league. The women make the league.
Okay. It's co-ed.
By the way, it's talking about women. The women make this.
The women are cold.
It's a football league.
Oh, you said it's co-ed.
It's co-ed. But and the women.
Some of the women are better than some of the guys out there.
And so,
definitely.
But I'm saying it to say that.
Shout out to Absolute Athletics too, man. They really dope.
It's a lot of working class black folks out there having a good time, not being disruptive. You know, they don't talk about that. But let somebody get shot down here. You got 47 news cameras. You got all, you know. And I always tell people, it don't matter what neighborhood you in. When you see a crime scene, if you see look on the news, if it's 25 cops, 23 of them white. From Inglewood, it don't matter where you are.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we're asking somebody else to come in here and police us, our behavior. That's That's the root of the problem. And your boy, your uncle, qualified immunity. Listen, I don't know if y'all understand if you understand what qualified immunity is. Qualified immunity exempts cops from all their bad behavior.
Okay.
He wants to increase qualified immunity. That's what the George Floyd Policing Act was. It could have got passed, but they put Tim Scott out there. And anyway, so that's part of this new Republican plan. They want to they want to police. The police began as slave patrols. Their only objective is to police black bodies and protect white property. That's it. That's all. Yeah. That's their function. And they come in here and they almost antagonize us. I've watched them.
But see, that started in slavery because they had insurance policies on their slaves. They hired
They were the slave patrol.
And then they went to go find them slaves. And if they didn't, then the insurance company would, get them money to buy
right after slavery. There's a process. Slavery.
So they just changed it as time went on, right?
There's a book called Slavery by Another Name. Right after the slaves were freed in 1865, us four could be walking down the street, kicking it, right, free. Any white person was deputized to come. Hey niggas, where y'all going? Oh, we going over to Auntie house to, y'all got your ID? And we just got out of the cotton field.
So Rock, you telling me if we get Uncle Trump back in office, you think a lot of these white boys gonna be out here trying to deputize?
Oh, it's going down.
So keep it like that. So keep that same energy. Let's keep that in the same energy. So who's gonna deputize when Harris is in office then? You don't think that's gonna happen? This just not gonna come out because a woman is in office?
No. So Congress, that the George Floyd bill was put on the table by the Democratic Party, and the Republicans voted it down. Because it would have, if I'm a heart surgeon and I commit malpractice and I stitch your heart up, one of your valves, and you die, they coming at me.
Yeah, you're accountable for that.
I'm gonna be sued, probably gonna lose my medical license, all that. This person with this gun has the right to take my life. He should be held to say, she should be held accountable.
For sure.
Yeah.
So they don't need training, because I don't know if it was a case in Minnesota this last week where this brother was cutting a tree down on his property. White boy, shot him in the back. He had called him 17 times.
Right, he had prior.
The police said they were scared to go in his house to get him.
Man, and he lived.
And he's still out. They run up in Breonna Taylor, Sonia Massey.
Yeah.
She got a pot in her hand,
yeah.
and you massacre. Yeah. These boys, these are Ku Klux Klan guys on the police force. They come out of the military, they're trained, they go on the police force to police black bodies and commit harm to us, man.
Yeah.
We got to teach our black boys how to deal with that, though.
And
how sad is that? They don't have to worry about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We call those microaggressions. We have to train our people how to
deal with that.
Yeah, they don't have to. They don't have to worry about none of
White say, look, put your hands on the steering wheel. Your passenger put his hands on the dashboard. You know what I mean? Turn the lights on.
Hey, can I?
Know what you need
I'm gonna start a GoFundMe because I'm gonna be unemployed, and they give me that cup of tea in. So
Stop playing on Monday.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a collection. Start me a GoFundMe. So, be out
cash
there.
out.
Yeah, I'll be the cash out. What I about to eat, or at least buy some piss. My throat's scratching.
Dirty in here, but anyway.
Man, 67 social.
Yes.
67 social. We appreciate you again coming out, Rock. Sharing all your knowledge. What is one thing you want to leave the young people that's in the audience with us here tonight?
In all, love yourself, take care of yourself. We see these DaVita dialysis places we live in. We don't call them food deserts anymore. We call it food apartheid because it's on purpose.
Oh, tell them what you told me before you get started. Tell them we $1.99 our body.
With the plastic?
No, he said, you told me one time, my pops told me one time, he said we put $1.99 in our bodies, but $2,000 on our body.
Yeah. So we have to, seriously, they didn't plan on us being here after we were freed from slavery. Abraham Lincoln literally wanted to send us back to Liberia. They never, when they could no longer extract any more wealth out of us, they wanted us gone. So they've been trying to exterminate us ever since. Healthcare, black women have the highest infant mortality rate. It's like 3 or 4 times. I mean, even when you got money, Serena Williams, ask Serena Williams. But it's like we, they study us. There was this freak gynecologist back in the day, this white dude. All the research they did for women's bodies was done on black women.
And it caused
with no anesthetics.
It caused a lot of babies to be born with a lot of defects.
No anesthetics.
It
So
was-
they've used us for information, but when they apply treatment, they think we're drug seekers. Our pain. Oh, you ain't nothing wrong with you. I mean, I'm serious. And so, but studies have shown that people, when we're treated by people who look like us, we have much greater outcomes.
Absolutely.
I have a black doctor, great lady. She's Dr. Bibbs at Northwestern. And but we have to get checkups. We have to manage our health because nobody else is going to do it for us. So, exercise. We have to eat better. It's not going to happen overnight, but a little bit at a time.
Okay.
It's okay to eat. We shouldn't eat out at Baba's 7 days a week. Or the gas. And so let's cook sometime. You can make something like lasagna. It'll last for a couple of days. So we have to. I'm serious. We have to love on ourselves and love on each other. Okay. And man, I'm happy that my son introduced me to you guys. This is lovely to see, especially young people.
Yeah.
Everything they always talk about young people. I don't miss me with all that.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna need y'all to pay my Social Security. I need you working. I need you working. When you're working, you're paying Social Security for the next generation.
Yeah.
I need you working.
But you already know, and I don't want to carry it out again, but everybody is into this entrepreneur thing too.
And
so nobody is paying into that for us to get
they call it a gig economy, and I get that. But
this generation is not for that. They're not for working for nobody else. That's why I'm exempt. I want all my money now. You know what I mean? Because I'm not banking on them.
Or you can do both.
I want my money.
You can do both.
Manage it.
You just do
stocks. But information. Let's love ourselves. Communicate. I love how you guys, how you manage the situation. Don't let a couple of seconds
ruin your life.
Because I've seen it happen. You react. We need to meditate a little bit more and just, get rest. Just love yourself. You guys are beautiful. All of you look good. I'm looking at your skin. I'm looking at y'all. Y'all look good, real good. And I'm glad you guys are here. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to, I'm 60 years old, man. And it's like, you never think, it's like, man, when, I knew people that were 60. My mom was 60. I'm like, man, she old. You better not call me old. I ain't talking
60 today is not what
just
60
like the 40s
was before.
not like the 40s was when I was in third grade. Somebody's mom, 42, showed up when I was in third grade. She looked 42. She was frumpy. You know what I mean? She like somebody's grandma.
Oh my God.
We show up these days.
Yeah,
We're not looking like that.
No.
So,
So that's what I'm gonna leave you with, man. Let's love. We got to love, because ain't nobody else gonna love us, man. Anti-blackness is literally a worldwide sentiment.
Yeah.
And that's why when he said them Haitians eating each other, they've never, the Haitians are still paying reparations to the French today. They whooped them people behind. I haven't cursed in 22 years. Y'all probably ain't heard me curse. Since I've been sitting up here, I stopped cursing. I asked God to remove my foul tongue. And so, but the Haitians whoop their, I'm not judging anybody. I just, by the same time, I get it. It do sound cool. But you can sound cool without it too. I always tell the young people, I say, y'all, you talking about keeping it 100, I'm keeping it 100. Because if I go in front of the judge, I ain't gonna be cussing. But you'll cuss me out, disrespect your mama. When you go in front of that judge, you don't even know.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna get that, because God's no respecter, man. I'm gonna give the homeless, the unhoused person, the same respect I am the judge.
Absolutely.
I ain't cussing them out because they, wiped my window and was mad. Sometimes I give them food, they don't want that. they want some butter. But I've been there, done that. But no, man, listen, drink water. Let's take care of ourselves. Let's love each other, because ain't nobody else gonna do it for us.
Yeah, so with that, we say 67
67
social.
social.
Love each other. You know what I mean?
Love the people
Breathe
out there.
life into yourself.
Unity.
Drink water.
Communicate.
Next time I'm wearing a mask, an oxygen mask.
Water. Drink that water.
Call me Uber, man. I
67 social.
might catch you off.
Again,
Shout out Leo,
it
you
was a
still there.
pleasure. I'm
It was
Miss
a
Mean.
pleasure.
Stay out of here.
Dream Irene.
Oh man.